At a private dinner, Charles dismissed Diana's concerns, his tone almost amused. She stayed silent as the laughter around them faded into quiet reflection. Alone with her thoughts, she wondered how something so serious could be brushed aside. It meant everything to her, and she hoped for more at the next event. The charity banquet was a grand affair, with 200 guests gathered in a lavish hall. Every detail spoke of tradition and protocol. Long tables stretched beneath crystal chandeliers, each seat carefully assigned by rank and etiquette. Diana sat beside Charles, their places set by strict rules that allowed little room for spontaneity. Across the room, Rowan Atkinson was seated apart from the main guests. He was a quiet observer, not a participant in the rigid social choreography. The atmosphere buzzed with polite conversation and the clinking of glasses, a formal dance of decorum where every movement was measured. The waitstaff moved gracefully, attending to guests with practiced precision. They ensured nothing disturbed the evening's careful order. In this structured setting, Diana's quiet rebellion would soon unfold, a small act that rippled beneath the polished surface of the night. Without hesitation, Diana stood and moved down the long table, slipping away from Charles's side. She chose the empty seat next to Rowan Atkinson, her gesture a quiet act of defiance. The staff exchanged uncertain glances, torn between protocol and respect for her choice. No one stopped her. As she settled beside Rowan, a sudden hush fell over the room, every eye drawn to her. A faint, collective gasp seemed to linger in the air, signaling a profound shift. It wasn't a grand declaration, but a small rebellion that spoke volumes. Diana wasn't just changing seats. She was reclaiming joy and connection amid the rigid formality. In that quiet move, she found a space where laughter could bloom, and the evening's polished surface cracked just enough to reveal something real beneath. Whispers floated briefly among the guests, sensing the break from tradition but hesitating to comment openly. As Diana settled beside Rowan Atkinson, he offered a gentle smile. His quiet warmth stood out against the evening's formality. "I'm often the outsider at these events," he said softly, his tone precise yet unpretentious. Their conversation moved in a calm, measured rhythm, with each word chosen carefully. There was no need for grandeur, just two people sharing a rare moment of genuine connection amid polished, sometimes suffocating etiquette. In this small, unassuming exchange, a subtle ease wrapped around them. It was a shared understanding that went beyond protocol. This brief sanctuary let Diana simply be herself, away from expectations and the weight of her title. Their voices blended with the soft background music, creating a quiet bubble amid the formal bustle. This fleeting moment of authenticity contrasted sharply with the carefully curated facades around them. It highlighted the profound relief found in sincere companionship. Their conversation lightened when Diana mentioned the Mr. Bean episode with the struggling turkey. She laughed heartily, the sound genuine and unguarded. A rare moment of pure joy in such a formal setting. That release felt liberating, an escape from stifling formality. Rowan smiled, recognizing the imperfect timing that made the scene so memorable. "It's not always about perfect comedy," he said quietly. "Sometimes it's the little mishaps that make it real." Their shared smile, subtle but sincere, bridged the gap between celebrity and human, royalty and performer. In that fleeting exchange, the evening's weight lifted, replaced by the simple pleasure of laughter. It was a reminder that beneath roles and expectations, they were just two people savoring a moment of authentic connection. Nearby guests, catching snippets of their laughter, exchanged curious glances, sensing a rare break in the evening's formality. Moments like these, brief as they were, revealed the humanity behind public personas, offering a glimpse into warmth and spontaneity often unseen. Their conversation deepened, turning to family and the delicate balance between public image and private life. Rowan spoke softly of his daughter, calling her a grounding force amid the unpredictable nature of fame. Diana nodded and shared stories of her sons, William's quiet determination and Harry's spirited independence. They both understood the invisible barrier fame creates, often hiding the true essence behind public roles. It's strange, Diana mused, how the world sees us as characters, but we're really just people trying to protect those we love from the glare. Rowan's eyes showed the same understanding, a quiet empathy born from living between two worlds. In that moment, the distance between royalty and entertainer blurred, replaced by shared recognition of the costs and comforts of family life under the spotlight. Their words softened the edges of their public personas, revealing the human beings beneath. Rowan leaned in slightly, his voice thoughtful as he questioned what truly counts as serious. He shared that before comedy, he studied electrical engineering, a field requiring focus and precision. Seriousness, he said, isn't about the topic, but the attention you give it. He referenced the turkey scene in Mr. Bean. Not just a funny mistake, but a serious look at human awkwardness and resilience, hidden in humor. This idea gently challenged Charles's earlier dismissal, suggesting that what seems trivial might hold deeper truths. In this quiet moment, the meaning of seriousness shifted, inviting a more nuanced view. It wasn't about pretending importance, but about caring deeply, often in unexpected ways. For Diana, this was comforting, a reminder that laughter and lightness can carry their own weight. The conversation lingered on this thought, adding depth to their shared reflection on life's complexities. In the quiet that followed, Diana and Rowan both felt the weight of being misunderstood. She admitted how often her seriousness was overlooked or misread. Rowan shared a similar experience from his time in the public eye. "You carry your seriousness quietly," he said, "but it's there, unmistakable." That simple affirmation closed the distance between them, creating a shared understanding beyond titles and roles. In that moment, the formal banquet faded away and was replaced by a genuine connection built on honesty and empathy. Their brief exchange revealed layers of vulnerability rarely seen in such settings. It highlighted the rare moments when people truly see each other beyond surface impressions. Yet beneath this warmth lingered an unspoken question. What truly drove Diana to make such a small but deliberate gesture? Moving her seat, seeking laughter, and perhaps something more? The answer remained just out of reach, setting the stage for what was yet to come and leaving a palpable tension in the air. Diana's voice softened as she paused, letting the evening's rigid expectations settle. Then she spoke the profound simplicity of her quiet rebellion. "I moved my seat," she said, "because I wanted to laugh." It wasn't a calculated move to embarrass or send a message. Instead, it was deeply personal, a choice made to find joy amid the evening's stiff formality. She picked up her glass, her gesture calm yet resolute. "That's all it was," she added, "to find a moment of genuine happiness with someone who could make me laugh." In that admission lay a strong contrast to the rigid rules governing her life. It wasn't about politics or power, but about reclaiming a piece of herself, an act of tenderness wrapped in subtle defiance. Her small act, trivial to outsiders, was a quiet rebellion against a world demanding she suppress her true feelings. As the room listened, a quiet truth settled. Sometimes, the most serious things come from the simplest desires. Have you ever chosen joy instead of expectation? Like Diana, breaking protocol isn't always rebellion. Sometimes, it's about reclaiming a moment that feels real and true. When was the last time you moved your seat just to find a little laughter? Across the polished table, Charles noticed Diana's absence. A brief, unreadable flicker passed through his eyes, but he chose not to address it. Instead, his focus shifted to a detailed discussion about architecture with a nearby guest. His words were precise but distant. The warmth that could have bridged the space between them was replaced by cool distance, an invisible wall built from unspoken frustrations and unmet expectations. While Diana sought connection and laughter, Charles seemed absorbed in a separate world, his attention fragmented. This subtle disconnect highlighted the growing emotional divide, a quiet tension beneath the banquet's formal facade. Amid the evening's decorum, their separate realities played out silently. Each was caught in their own orbit, barely touching but deeply aware of the distance. Observers might have noticed the contrast, one side seeking lightness, the other retreating into formality. The ambient noise of clinking glasses and polite conversation only emphasized the silence between them. It made their emotional distance all the more pronounced. Amid clinking glasses and quiet conversations, Diana's laughter rang out, clear, genuine, and bright. It cut through the formal air like a sudden breeze, a rare moment of unguarded joy that rippled across the table. Her laughter was spontaneous, a brief escape from the rigid expectations around her. It offered a glimpse of the woman beneath her poised exterior. Yet, despite the warmth her laughter brought, Charles did not look up. His gaze stayed fixed on the architectural plans before him, his expression distant and unreadable. That lively laughter contrasted sharply with the emotional absence just a few seats away. In that fleeting moment, the banquet revealed its quiet truth. Diana had found a spark of happiness, however small. Even as the gulf between them grew wider, the room, though still, felt charged with the silent story unfolding between them. As the evening wound down, Diana and Rowan exchanged quiet thanks, an unspoken gratitude for the rare connection they had shared. Their smiles held a tenderness that words couldn't capture, a mutual recognition of something meaningful in the midst of formality. This fleeting moment was a brief sanctuary from the expectations and roles that often weighed heavily on them both. Soon after, Diana rose to leave, rejoining Charles with a composed grace. They departed the banquet side by side, the silence between them heavy yet understood. There was no need for confrontation or explanation. Her decision to move had spoken volumes. In the gentle closing of the night, a subtle acknowledgement lingered, a quiet testament to Diana's choice to seek joy, even when it meant stepping outside the bounds set for her. The moment was small, but its significance echoed far beyond the polished walls of the banquet hall, hinting at the personal courage behind quiet acts. The morning after the banquet, William's curiosity was clear as he asked his mother about the evening. Diana smiled softly and recalled moving her seat to sit next to Rowan Atkinson. "He's quite funny," she said, "and sometimes laughter is the most serious thing you can find." She described a few witty remarks he made that lightened the mood around the table. William listened closely, his youthful eyes showing both amusement and understanding. Their talk naturally shifted to the idea that seriousness isn't always about stern faces or grand gestures. Instead, it's about what truly matters to the heart. Diana noted how humor can connect people, breaking down barriers and creating moments of genuine warmth. In that warm, playful exchange, Diana found a moment of lightness, a gentle reminder that joy and gravity often walk hand in hand. It was a tender family moment, bridging the complex world outside with simple truths shared between mother and son. A quiet comfort amid public scrutiny. Watching her sons argue playfully over the merits of a Mr. Bean episode, Diana reflected on what truly defines seriousness. It wasn't about appearances or rigid protocol. It was about caring deeply for something real. That simple truth resonated in the laughter echoing through the room, a reminder that authenticity holds far more weight than pretense. A principle she had embodied at the banquet. As she observed William and Harry's spirited debate, she understood that seriousness isn't always solemn. Sometimes it's found in moments of joy, connection, and genuine emotion. In a world that often demanded formality, Diana's quiet rebellion was a testament to embracing what truly matters. The evening's events had revealed a deeper truth, that the heart's sincere care, expressed however it may be, is the most serious thing of all. This realization brought a sense of peace, grounding her in her values despite the complexities surrounding her. Looking back, staff who witnessed that evening often spoke of Diana's seating choice with quiet admiration. They knew she wasn't trying to make a grand statement or embarrass anyone. Instead, she simply wanted to find a place where laughter could bloom freely, a rare and precious thing in her world. That small act of moving her seat, though seemingly insignificant to some, held its own weight. It was a deliberate choice to prioritize genuine joy over rigid expectation, a subtle rebellion wrapped in warmth. In that moment, Diana reclaimed a piece of herself, reminding everyone that sometimes the most profound acts are the quietest. Her decision wasn't about protocol, it was about human connection, and that made all the difference. Over time, their stories helped others see the power of simple kindness and courage. This quiet gesture became a lasting memory, inspiring those around her to embrace authenticity in their own lives. In a world filled with rigid rules, Diana's simple choice to seek laughter reminds us all that authenticity and joy shine brightest when we dare to step outside expectations. Often, the smallest acts carry the deepest meaning. If you've enjoyed this behind-the-scenes glimpse, follow us for more stories that reveal surprising truths about public figures and unforgettable moments. There's always more beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered.